Today, of course, we are making a few announcements, which you may call as the next step in the series of stimulus announcements that we've been making. The new scheme, which we are now calling as Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana, is being launched so that we incentivize creation of new employment opportunities so that the recovery phase benefits from it. EPFO registered organizations, if they bring in new employee being those who didn't have an EPFO number earlier, or new employee being those who lost the job between 1st March and 30th September of this year, will all be counted as new employee. The earlier scheme covered for 3 years, now it will cover for 2 years. Central government will give the subsidy for 2 years in respect of the new eligible employees who are engaged on or after 1/10/2020 till, as I said, June of 2021, for those establishments which have up to 1,000 employees or less. Employees' contribution of 12% of the wages and employers' contribution of 12% of the wages, totaling 24% of the wages, will be borne by the central government. The emergency credit line guarantee scheme, which was announced in the Atmanirbhar 1.0, gets extended till 31st March 2021. We are launching a credit guarantee support for all the stressed sectors. This was part of what was recognized by the Kamath Committee, plus the health sector, with credit outstanding of about 50 crores and up to 500 crores as on 29th February 2020. This scheme will be extended. It doesn't have an upper ceiling or on annual turnover basis. Entities up to 30 days past due, which is estimate 0, as on 29/2/2020, will get an additional credit of 20% of outstanding as of that date. 10 more such sectors, 3 already being given. Now, they will also benefit from a productivity-linked incentive scheme. Yesterday, when I met you all, I had very clearly said that's part of the Atmanirbhar. It covers sunrise sectors, it covers labor-intensive sectors, and it also covers those sectors through which India hopes to link with the global value chain. PM Awas Yojana Urban. This is over and above the 8,000 crores which was mentioned in the BE, which is 8,000 crores. We are now giving 18,000 crores in order that 12 lakh houses can be grounded and 18 lakh houses can be completed. What we expect out of it is additional jobs to the extent of 78 lakhs will be created. 25 lakh metric tons of steel will now be bought and sold, and 131 lakh metric tons of cement will be bought and sold. People who come into the construction and infrastructure activity, this will support them. Performance security on contracts will now be reduced to 3% instead of 5 to 10%. Will be extended. This will be extended to all ongoing contracts which are free of disputes. States also will be encouraged to come into this scheme. Therefore, bid security declaration will be sufficient, and that will replace the existing EMD. So, earnest money deposit will not be required for tenders, and it will be sufficient if they provide bid security declaration. So, it's almost like a self-declaration. Relaxation of this kind, which we are proposing now, will be given only up to 31st December 2021. Now what we've decided is to increase the differential from 10% to 20% from the period, for the period from the date of this announcement to 30th June 2021 for only primary sales. So the first sale. This relief of up to 20% shall be allowed for both, and the necessary amendments in the IT Acts will be done in the due course. Through this particular step, we expect a lot of clearance of inventory and people will be able to pay less in terms of the differential on which the tax is collected, and the differential is now increased, the gap is now reduced, and therefore they will end up paying far lesser in case of the circle rate differential, which affects them. So this is a major step towards middle class, which wants to buy when the housing sector is going through a supply side boom, inventories are sitting, nothing is getting cleared. So we are now giving 6,000 crores of equity to the debt platform of NIIF, where private equity participation will also come in. NIIF itself has invested 2,000 crores. So by 2025, they will have to fund projects to the extent of 1,10,000 crores. We are creating this avenue for them to do it even through the debt market. Farmers are to be ensured adequate supply of fertilizers, and this increased supply of fertilizers we assess will benefit 140 million farmers, and therefore 65,000 crores is being given to ensure that the forthcoming Kharif will not suffer for want of fertilizer. Farmers should be ensured that they have done a splendid work during Kharif. This 9th announcement is for another additional outlay of 10,000 crore. This will be part of the PM Garib Kalyan Rozgar Yojana. It can be used for Manrega, it can be used for Gram Sadak Yojana, to ensure that the rural informal sector doesn't suffer for opportunities. So this money goes there. There are about 811 export contracts which are undergoing through the IDS scheme, and 10.5 billion US dollars are provided through the line of credit. Now, in order to facilitate Exim Bank undertake these line of credit activities and for promoting projects export, which happens, many of the Indian companies go and complete these projects there. They undertake a railway project or a power project. Many Indian companies go to do that, for which products from India are exported for those. Exim Bank facilitates this. So Exim Bank gets 3,000 crores just for this activity under LOC, line of credit. 10,200 crores additionally is being provided so that capital and industrial expenditure can be undertaken. These will be primarily through the defense equipment. Domestic defense equipment manufacturers will benefit from it. Industrial incentives, industrial infrastructure, and green energy. For these purposes, 10,200 crores are being additionally provided. This will, of course, benefit those particular sectors because domestic defense equipment manufacturers are doing well. There's a need for them to be given that kind of a support so that those equipment and industrial infrastructure gets built. 900 crores for research and development as regards the COVID vaccine development which is happening. And this is being provided for the COVID Suraksha mission, purely for R&D purposes. And please notice that this money goes to the Department of Biotechnology. The actual cost of the vaccine or the logistics required for distributing the vaccine is totally different, and whatever is required for that, as and when it is required, will be provided. Total of 15% of the GDP is what has been given here as stimulus till today. Total of 15% of the GDP. You may divide that between the government and the RBI, never mind. Just the government, 9% of the GDP.